Thank you, Texas. Saudi oil attacks didn't spark a U.S. fuel crisis. That is music to my ears, my friends. That's because the world, and especially the U.S., has plenty of oil. Where is George Mitchell? What a man of all men. And not the stupid senator from Maine. The real George Mitchell, the fracking guy. Dallas Morning News editorial. Dateline, September 16th, 2019. The world is not facing an oil crisis, yet half of Saudi Arabia's daily production capacity was knocked out last week when facilities were damaged by airstrikes. Yes, if it takes many months for the Saudis to repair the facility, that could keep oil prices elevated. But there is no energy crisis, at least not today. No need for the U.S. military to secure oil in the Middle East for American consumption. No immediate need to tap emergency U.S. oil reserves, and certainly no need to top off your gas tank today and hoard fuel in your garage. Because you should have already been doing that anyway. That's because the world, and especially the U.S., has plenty of oil. The Saudis have enough reserves to keep their customers supplied for a month. The kingdom even told other OPEC countries to stand down in boosting production. And U.S. producers have the ability to quickly boost oil production thanks to fracking technology. Consider that the U.S. now produces more oil than Saudi Arabia. And what did Bernie Sanders say? We're going to put the fossil fuel executives in jail. And what did Warren say, stupid Elizabeth Warren? We're going to get rid of fracking a hole everywhere in the U.S. These freaking people are fools, man. As they're flying around their freaking planes that are powered by fossil fuels. Yeah, it's the insanity of those people is just nuts. And whatever Joe Biden said, it doesn't matter because he doesn't remember either. The attack cut Saudi crude output by in half. Just imagine this happened in 2005. Think if this happened in 2005. We would be looking at nightmarish Wall Street. And what is Wall Street? I don't even know what it's doing right now. Let's take a look. We'd be looking at nightmare of saying, we got to do something. And it was Wall Street is down 53 points. The NASDAQ's actually up. In fact, the bond market is falling or going. I mean, the yields on bonds are dropping a bit. So, I mean, I guess it's flat, basically. It looks like it's dropping a little bit. Anyway, so that's fantastic. Not much, though. It's basically flat. So, anyway. In June, let's see. 5% of global supply was cut when the Iranians bombed the Saudis. That's about 2 million per day per square production capacity. In June, according to the EIA, the Energy Information Administration, the U.S. produced 16.9 million barrels of oil per day. A bump in oil prices, instead of creating a global fuel crisis that descends into economic depression, if this is 2005, you know that would happen. The enormity of how successful we've been under Obama. Bush was the one saying he seemed like an oil man. He was like, I believe climate change is caused by human activity and CO2 is bad, so we're going to ramp up our alternatives so we're not relying on Saudi Arabia. And then under Obama, even though he hated it, but under Obama, the oil production went like a madman. Oh, I freaking love it, man. A bump in oil prices, instead of creating a global fuel crisis that descends in economic depression, is more likely to prompt energy companies to produce more oil in Texas. A sustained rise in oil markets by a few dollars a barrel could mean it's suddenly profitable to drill more oil wells in certain fields or refract wells that are petering out. Most producers have these plans ready. They hire smart people to do the hard math and on the best way to make money at various oil prices. Producers would just need to get the rigs and fracking equipment rolling, and in some cases get more investment money flowing. No fuel emergency, at least not yet. Still, we are pleased by two of Trump's responses. First, he made noise about tapping the U.S. Strategic Reserve. Even if that proves unnecessary, his comments may calm oil markets. Good. I wish he would have said that, but whatever. Second, he has instructed federal agencies to expedite approvals to build oil pipelines to carry domestic oil from field to market. Is the president using the occasion of breaking news to stump for long-term projects that aren't likely to have any real impact on today's issue? Probably. Freaking hope so. But in this case, he's still right. If Americans are to continue using oil, which we will, Americans need to build modern, efficient, and safe infrastructure to carry the oil to the end consumer. The dream of cutting our dependency on foreign oil is reality, and we don't have to protect our economic interests in the Middle East like we used to. Thanks to West Texas, we have more room to maneuver at home and abroad. I freaking, oh, that's fantastic. They got comments on here. I can't tell. Yeah, I guess they get. We are currently revamping our comment system because I don't want to hear people saying we don't believe in climate change. How can you not be stoked when you read this stuff, man? Trump said actually something's even more important. He doesn't want to go to war. I think that was the most important thing he said. I don't care about strategic oil reserves. I do like the idea of using the crisis to ramp up pipelines. Absolutely, if that's what it takes. But then he said he doesn't want to go to war, and I think that's fantastic. I just think about this 15 years ago, what this would have done. That's nuts. God bless America, man. God bless Texas. God bless George Mitchell. We're not going to rely on these people anymore. And because we're not relying on them anymore, they're not going to get this money to fund Islamic terrorism all over the United States, all over the world. And so that way we can say to our Muslim brothers and sisters who are just living their lives like you and I do as Christians, as Jews, as Hindus, as secularists, to say, it's all good, brother. We are all in this game together. It is all good. And it's great. It's great. It's a great time to be alive. I hope you take advantage of it, and I will see you.